Mr. President, I want to make sure we make some time for questions that you actually didn't address in your State of the Union speech, but that a lot of the Internet community rallied around. The first one's on the topic of this Stop Online Piracy Act, or SOPA. A lot of Internet companies, including Google, have spoken out against this, but a lot of activity on YouTube on this question. And let's watch this video from Benjamin Yeager in Jacksonville, Florida.
Hello, Mr. President. My name is Benjamin Yeager. In the past few weeks, we've seen some bills come up regarding internet piracy, most notably SOPA and PIPA. My question for you is, how do you intend to combat internet piracy while at the same time maintaining the flow of free speech on the internet? And where do you draw the line between legitimate attempts to combat internet piracy and putting too much censorship on the internet?
Well, I think Benjamin framed the question right. And one of the things that we're doing is using the laws we have to enforce and make sure that intellectual property is protected. So we just had, the Justice Department just announced one of the biggest indictments in cooperation with a range of other countries around internet piracy internationally. But I think that it's going to be possible for us to make sure that we're protecting intellectual property that creates a lot of jobs in this country. It's one of the United States' biggest exports is all our knowledge-based products, but also do it in a way where it's not affecting the fundamental integrity of the internet as an open, transparent system. And what I've suggested is that both sides, the content side, the server sides, they need to come together and work with us to create a system in which we've got strong protections in place, but the basic architecture that's made the internet so powerful and such a open system ends up being preserved. And I think we can do that.
Mr. President, a lot of people are probably wondering what was the #1 voted question of all the 135,000 or so questions that were submitted. What was #1? It was actually a text question. I'm going to read it to you now. It comes from Michael Mozart in Connecticut, and he writes, "Why are you personally supporting the extradition of British citizen Richard O'Dwyer for solely linking to copyright infringing works using an extradition treaty designed to combat terrorism and bring terrorists to judgment in the U.S.? And for those of you who don't know who Richard O'Dwyer is, he's a British student. The Justice Department is apparently seeking to extradite him to the U.S. for copyright infringement."
Yeah, well, first of all, Steve, I'm not personally doing anything because...
Yeah, I'm reading exactly what you wrote.
But I want to make sure everybody understands.
Yeah.
One of the ways our system works is that the President doesn't get involved with prosecution decisions or extradition decisions, and this has been a decision by the Justice Department. What I can say broadly is that we want to make sure that intellectual property is protected. We want to make sure that the creative works of people in this country aren't expropriated, but we want to do it in a way that's consistent with internet freedom. And we're just going to keep on working on it. When SOPA came up on the Hill, we expressed some concerns about the way that the legislation had been written. Told folks, let's go back to the table and let's try to figure something out that works for everybody.